Hello and welcome to the Amy
And Kyle.
Adventures podcast, also known as the AKA podcast. We've not got a proper introduction, we're not very technical, I say this every week, maybe one day we will, but we're basically going to talk about all things cycling, mental health and marriage. Maybe a bit of other exercise as well, but for the first two episodes and this one it's going to be cycling, to be honest, because I've not really been able to do much running because I've got a little bit of a foot injury at the minute underneath my heel, but I'm not going to talk too much about that because it's really depressing me. Anyway, it's a Monday evening. Kyle's just got back from work.
Yes, I'm feeling a bit tired today after today's graft. So, time to put my feet up. But I'm always up for a little bit of a chin wag.
What have you been building today?
I'm actually converting a unit into a block of shops.
Oh.
So, yeah, a lot of work on.
What are the shops going to sell?
One's going to be a corner shop, one's going to be a takeaway, and one's going to be a hairdresser's.
Ooh.
So, when I get it done, I might have to go and get myself a fresh trim.
What kind of takeaway is it going to be?
I think it's a pizzeria.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Blimey neck, when that's built, you won't be coming home, you'll be staying there all day.
That's a bit of me.
I know it is. We had pizza yesterday, didn't we?
We did.
Very nice. Anyway, today is, as I already said, it's a Monday, I'm waffling already. We normally record on a Sunday, but last night we were both really tired. We did an Audax on Saturday. An Audax is a long distance cycling association. So it's a long ride. Basically, we did 200 kilometres, started in Sheffield, and went on this nice loop. It was really hard, actually. The first 50 kilometres was really hilly. Then the next 100k was nice and easy, nice and flat.
Yeah.
But then the last 50 kilometres was really hilly again. So it kind of like started off hard, then easy, then hard again. But to be honest, we set off up this climb, didn't we, Kyle?
Yeah.
And I just felt absolutely knackered. I think the fact that we cycled home from Italy and then went to Scotland and then we both came down with a cold, didn't we? Which probably could have been COVID, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And we're going up this climb and honestly, I just felt like I couldn't breathe. Like, I was going up there and I was thinking, blimey neck, I'm going a bit slow. And then it just felt like every time I tried to take a deep breath in, I just could not breathe properly. And I said to Kyle, look, I don't think I can even do this ride.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
I think it might be more of a case of you being dramatic.
Hey.
And you've been a bit upset that I was a bit ahead of you.
No, it wasn't.
No, in all seriousness, it has been a very bad cold.
It has, yeah. I think sometimes you think you're better. Like, I felt completely better. Like, I wasn't bunged up anymore. Felt like my energy was back. But then I got on the bike and I thought, blimey neck, my energy's not back. So I think I've kind of learnt a bit of a lesson to give myself more time to recover. I think you don't realise when you're doing a lot, not just physically but mentally as well, it really does drain you. Chester's growling, he agrees with me. But I did carry on and do the ride. We just took it really slow, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a beautiful ride. But you say there was an easy section in the middle. It wasn't so easy, actually, because it was riding back from Gaul, which is very flat, but it was a block headwind.
Yeah.
Which for some reason I was sat on the front for a lot of.
Yeah, I didn't really feel much of the headwind because I was sat behind someone's wheel. So I was okay. I was just chilling, enjoying life, letting you take all the wind.
I could hear a lot of chit-chat behind me, but yeah, I couldn't really talk because I was working too hard in the wind.
I did actually, to be fair, I did offer to go on the front. I did say I'll go on the front, but then I was like, but if I go on the front, the pace is going to go down by 50%.
Yeah, but I didn't want you to.
Yeah, because I wasn't feeling too well. But like I say, I think you just have to remind yourself that it's okay to rest and recover and not have to do long rides all the time. I love cycling so much, and obviously since we started I've always loved the long rides. And I think sometimes I can get that sense of guilt when I don't do enough, or not guilt, but like I just want to be riding all the time because it's what I love. And because the last 2 weeks I've been a bit ill and not ridden as much, it made me really, really want to ride a long ride on Saturday. But maybe it wasn't the best thing to do because I was a lot slower than I normally am and just not as... I just didn't enjoy it as much as I normally would, which is a bit sad because I normally always love riding so much. And I don't want to get to a point where I'm hating a ride. I wasn't hating it, don't worry. We had lots of snacks. But I think you do have to remind yourself that the body takes a long time to recover.
Well, that's sort of what I said to you as well, wasn't it? That you need to enjoy the ride. Don't let it become a chore. And if you're not enjoying it, don't do it because it's not worth it.
Exactly.
So, but we did have a good time. Yeah. We had a nice ride. We had a lot of people to ride with that were very nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. I definitely recommend if you've never done like an organised cycling event, sportives can be quite scary. There's a lot of people. It can be quite competitive. Normally you're timed. You normally get a medal at the end or something like that. Audaxes are very different to that. So Audaxes are normally a lot cheaper. And nothing against sportives. I've done a lot of sportives and I do really enjoy them. They're just completely different. And I think for someone that's new to cycling, an Audax would definitely be something I'd recommend because they're so friendly. It's not a race. You do have cut-off times where you have to get to controls, but the pace is really like not too fast. I think you have to average like 10 miles an hour, is it?
Yeah, I think it's 25 kilometres an hour.
Oh,
which
that's
isn't,
higher then.
is it 25? Maybe it's less.
What's 10
I
miles?
don't actually know because I've never actually looked.
10 miles is 16 kilometres an hour. So maybe you have to average like 12 miles an hour, something like that.
It is very steady.
Yeah, it's not really fast, and you can stop for cafes, and it's not a race. Like you do get a time at the end, but the results don't go anywhere, and it's cheap. Like normally the entry is like £10, and there's always snacks at the start, snacks at the end. It normally starts at a village hall. On this Audax, it was great. At the end, honestly, at the start, we'll start with the start. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself because the end was so good. At the start, they had cereals laid out. Carl went in for the coffee, didn't you?
I did. I needed that morning coffee.
I've never seen someone shovel so much sugar into a coffee.
I only had 2.
2 tablespoons?
No.
Well,
I have actually been having coffee without sugar recently, but that's gone unnoticed.
Well, I saw you with the shovel of a sugar, and I thought this one's going to be off like a whippet up the hill.
Well, prior to 200 kilometres, I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, you do need your sugar, but then at the end, honestly, I was a bit annoyed at Kyle for one thing he did, which I'll mention in a moment, but we got in a table full of homemade cakes. They had sticky toffee cake, they had these cinnamon cupcakes, they had, what else? They have brownies, date loaf. I had a bit of date loaf because this fella never takes me on a date, so it's the only date I ever see. What else do they have? Just absolutely loads of homemade cakes, absolutely beautiful. Homemade soup, teas, coffees. Kyle, out of all the homemade cakes, all the lovely choice, all the nice soup, he had a packet of crisps and digestives.
Is this your moan?
Yeah, it is, Mum. Well, no, it's not, but I am moaning about it. If someone offers you a homemade cake and you choose a digestive, there's something not right in your mind.
But I said it to you then and I'll say it now. I didn't fancy a cake. And Amy insisted, saying, no, you need to have a cake. No, I don't want a cake.
But they're just... How can you choose a digestive over a cake? I mean, I'm not going to deny that a digestive is yummy. Like the crunch on those things, the taste, lovely. But you can't compare it to a homemade cake. I mean, whoever made them has been slaving away all morning making them, and you walk in straight past them and open the packet of digestives.
Yeah, but
That's a slap in the face.
I wanted something. One, the crisps were already salted.
Yeah.
And I wanted them because I fancied something savoury. Mm. And then the digestive biscuit. I'm stuttering on my words here. The digestive biscuits just tasted phenomenal, and I've not had them for a while, so I thought, yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
I still don't agree. I mean, you just can't deny a homemade cake. Anyway, they did have sandwiches as well, and we had some of them, didn't we?
We did.
They had hummus and cucumber sandwich, which was lovely.
Quite fancy, if you ask me.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you have never tried an Audax, I'd definitely recommend them. You need to go... This isn't an ad, by the way. We just love Audax. Yeah. You need to go on... We're not
sponsored by Audax.
Sponsored by Audax. You have to go on the Audax UK website or wherever you are in the world. Go onto calendar events, and that shows you all the ones that are coming up. Just enter it, and then the organiser will normally send you an email a few days, weeks or days before with the route and everything like that. And you get a nice little brevet card, which is a little paper card that you get stamped along the way. It's all very old-fashioned, so you have to get like stamps in shops or get receipts to prove where you've been. But they're just great, really. And you come home, meet new people, and feel good for getting out. Because I think sometimes as well, they really help you to get out. If you say, oh, I'm going to do 200k, but it's not an organised event and the weather's bad, or you get up and you're not really feeling it, you're more likely to not do it. But if you entered an event then and you know other people are doing it, it makes you more willing to go and do it, doesn't it?
Well, I'm just a sucker for a brevet card. I mean, I've got a box full at home now and I love them.
At home? You are at home?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course I am.
We're sat on bed. We're actually lying in our bed at the minute.
But I do love a brevet card and I like to collect them all.
Yeah.
But I always describe an Audax as a long cafe ride. Or a very long cafe ride, depends what distance you're doing. But, yeah, it's just very chilled out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice. Anyway, moving on from the cycling. Well, actually, no, not moving on from the cycling. Moving on from not us cycling. Yesterday we did watch the gravel, didn't we?
Yeah, that
World
was
Champs.
very entertaining.
Really good. I watched the women's with you, didn't I?
Yeah.
But unfortunately for the men's, I was having to do some YouTube editing. So I was like one eye on it and one eye editing. So I didn't get as involved in that. But the women's was... I mean, it was basically just a a fight between Kopecky and Voss, wasn't it?
I did actually take some notes because there was a few key points I
You
wanted.
took some notes?
I did take some
Go
notes.
on then, let's read them out.
Because I am a bit of a nerd when it comes to bike racing.
Why did you take some notes?
And I did want... There was a few things I just...
Oh, this is hilarious.
Whilst watching the race, there was a few things that I saw and I thought,
Go on
that
then.
might be something to mention.
He's actually getting his notes up on his phone right now.
So I did take some notes.
Go on then.
So for the women, I've got a full list here.
He's got some blooming bullet points here, jeez.
So for some reason I've written down motorbike struggling on the gravel tracks because there was a moment where the motorbike that was filming behind almost lost it on the corner of it.
I did see that. I don't know how they do that.
I thought, like, in a normal road race, like, it's easy enough for the motorbike stuff to follow the cyclists, but this was a single track through the woods.
Yeah, why is
I
a
was thinking
motorbike
that's very
following them?
brave.
Also, imagine if like the motorbike crashed and then crashed into a rider or something.
Yeah.
I would not want to be on that motorbike. I tell you that, it's bad enough going on a bike through it. I mean, crazy, really.
Yeah, and then there was another thing I liked to notice is the amount of Dutch riders in the women's race was incredible. Like,
But wasn't it in... Where was it?
It was in Flanders.
So
Belgium.
Is that Dutch?
No, that's Belgium.
Oh, what's Dutch then?
Well, that'll lead on to the men's when I start taking.
What's Dutch?
Holland, Netherlands.
Oh, the Netherlands is Dutch. Is that really offensive? What I've just said?
Just poor geography, I'd say.
Oh, sorry.
So
where was it? Belgium.
So it was in Flanders.
Oh, you did tell me that yesterday because you was like, "Oh yeah, Tour of Flanders. Maybe we could do that next year." I was like, "No, Kyle. We did. What did we do this year? Paris-Roubaix. That was enough for me."
It did sort of remind me when I was watching it a bit about that.
Maybe we'll go and watch it, but that's enough for me.
So yeah, that was another thing I mentioned. It was quite a strange gravel race actually because a lot of the professional riders did actually mention that because of the type of course that it was, they needed to adapt the gravel bikes to be slightly more roady. Because there was a lot of road sections, a lot of faster.
There's a lot of woodland sections, which isn't technically gravel, is it?
Well, I'd expect a woodland section on gravel races, but it was more the fact there was a lot of fast tarmac, easy surface. So they were opting for more of a cyclocross tyre rather than typical gravel tyres. Obviously, for a bit faster. And at the finish of the race, there was 3 Dutch women finishing in the top 4.
I'm not actually... You know, you're quite surprised how many Dutch riders there are.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because cycling is so big in the Netherlands compared to, like, here. Like, compared to the UK, and especially gravel as well. We don't have a lot of good gravel in the UK. The only decent gravel I've ever seen in the UK is when I went up to Northumberland for Dirty Reaver. That is proper nice gravel. But round here, I mean, it's awful. It's just mud tracks. It's basically MTB. Is that MBT?
MTB, mountain bike.
What did I just say? I
MBT,
said
didn't you?
MTB, mountain bike.
Yeah, you said
What's
it right
MBT?
You just said it wrong.
I don't know. Honestly, I've gone doolally. I've had a busy day.
No, it's not so much that I'm surprised the amount of Dutch riders, but it did. I just found it really interesting, the difference between the women's and the men's race with the nationalities. Yeah, like the GB was well represented, but we're obviously not at that level.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but a lot of the big pros from the Netherlands and stuff like that were coming from cyclocross and stuff like that, made it a really entertaining race.
Right, now he's still got his list. His list is going on. Blooming heck, Kyle. We'll have a whole
series the men's is quite quick.
Go on,
so,
then.
as expected...
Can you bullet point quick? Can you just read out your bullet points?
So, as expected in the men's, the mighty Mathieu van der Poel won.
Yeah.
Big breakaway. Expected, typically on a climb, he just powered off and left them all behind. But there were so many big names like from the road racing scene, like Tej Manute, and and I was.
Isn't that expect? Sorry, I'm not as. I ride my bike and I love it, and I do love watching the racing. But compared to Kyle, my knowledge on the racing, I will admit, is not as good. I know the names of people, but isn't it expected that there'll be big names at the World Gravel?
Yeah, big names, as in if it was all like cyclocross names and gravel names.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of riders coming from the road.
But I thought they would be there anyway.
No, I wouldn't say that's typical.
Oh.
Because a lot of the road...
They want to get as much medals as they can.
Well, a lot of road races are still racing on the road now into the autumn classics.
Yeah.
So, in Europe and Italy and stuff like that, so...
Can I read one of your points out?
You can.
I'm taking his phone off him. I'm going into control mode, sorry. You've written, always finish with same frame. What the hell does that mean?
Right, no, so, so this bullet point, it's a very brief bullet point.
Yeah.
But I was trying to learn how. So typically in a road race, you have a car following you behind. If you have a puncher, you can get changed, stuff like that. In the gravel World Championships, there was tech zones,
Right.
and you couldn't change outside of those zones,
Right.
and you couldn't change wheels and stuff like that outside of those zones.
Okay.
Another rider could give you a wheel, I believe, but and sacrifice themselves, but you couldn't get assistance
So what does
outside of that.
always finish with same frame mean?
But you have to. Well, it was weirdly on the commentary yesterday. It was saying you have to finish a race with the same bike frame that you had.
Oh, right. Sorry,
I
Carl.
just thought it was really interesting.
Sorry, Carl. I'm just going to tell you one thing.
What's that?
Please don't bash the bed with your hand. Because he's getting very passionate about his talking, but I'm a bit worried about the sound.
Well, you have stolen my phone.
No, I want to
Can I-
read out.
can I just
Wait,
say
hang
the
on,
last bullet
hang on,
points?
hang on. I want to read it. You've written mostly Belgian. Well, isn't that? That's because it was in Belgium, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, it wasn't so much that. That wasn't so much the bullet. I was looking at the
You just
nationalities.
put mostly
once again.
Belgian, right? That's a great bullet
No,
point.
but there was a lot of talented Belgian riders.
You've put Connor Swift only GB.
But that's wrong because you're reading my bullet points. I can't actually expand.
It's more entertaining when I read
Connor
them.
Swift wasn't the only GB. He was the only GB in like the top end
Okay.
of the race.
You've put Pinarello Dogma X.
Yes, because I was very interested that he was using a Dogma X rather than a gravel.
And you've written Connor Swift 6th, brilliant ride.
Yeah, so he followed up this year. He finished third last year with a bronze medal. Came sixth this time, but he rode very well.
I'm sure he'll be really appreciative that there's a note on your phone saying that he did a brilliant ride.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ride. It looked very technical, very tough. So
Well, thanks for that, Carl. I think we should make this a regular feature. I'm going to make you watch random things and write bullet points.
I
and
do
I'll
watch
read
a
them
lot of
out.
racing.
Honestly, Kyle's memory for stuff, like facts, is absolutely amazing. I'm pretty sure I could ask him any cycling question and he'd know the answer.
Only if I'm
Okay,
interested in something.
let me answer a random question that's popped into my head.
Go on then.
How old is Pogacar?
He's 26 now, isn't he?
I don't know the answer.
I believe he was 25. I think he's 26 now. So last year was his last year to win the white jersey in the Tour de France. I believe he's 26 now.
Okay.
And now he's the world
I'm
champion.
going to ask you another random question.
Go on then.
How old is Tom Pidcock?
I don't actually know. I think
Oh, Kyle.
I'm sure he's like 26 as well.
Oh.
Maybe 27.
Someone will have to check for us.
I'm not
okay.
actually good with the ages of the riders.
Okay. How many medals has Tom Pidcock got?
What? I'm meant to know that off the top of my head. He's won I believe he won 3 world champion jerseys in mountain bike and cyclocross.
Yeah.
He's won a stage of the Tour de France. He's
By
won
the way,
he's won the Strade Bianchi.
I just want to put into perspective, Carl's eyes are squinted up small and he's looking at the ceiling like he's thinking.
Yeah, just to give you an image of my brain really working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Strade Bianchi won that. Tour the stage of the Tour de France, which I think we all know that on outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of his impressive wins have come in mountain bike and cyclocross, really.
Yeah, well done.
What?
Well, I think you did pretty well with the fact question, seeing as I don't actually know the answers, so I'm just going to pretend that, yeah, well done, you got them right. Anyway, moving on. I think we've had enough of that now.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something a bit more serious. So this week on Thursday, it is World Mental Health Day. And you might know or you might not know, I used to be a mental health nurse. So for 3 years, I was a mental health nurse and I worked with child and adolescents with eating disorders. For 4 years before that, I trained at university to be a nurse. I did a master course, so got a master's. And then I had a blooming breakdown 3 years in and had to quit my job. So 4 years down the pan. But I used to think more like that, but actually now I know it's not wasted time, because I hope that through my Instagram and what I do, I can share a little bit of like mental health tips, and it's not wasted because I learned a lot by doing that degree, and I worked with so many amazing people and hopefully helped some people. And I think the most important thing is your own mental health. And I had to leave my job because I really was not well. And when I got better, I reflected and realised actually mental health nursing was not the right job for me. Maybe in the future I'll go back to it. Kyle always shakes his head when I say that.
Absolutely.
Because of how ill I did get. But the way my mind works, I just really couldn't switch off from the people I was supporting. And I used to come home and just not be able to switch off and worry about everybody. And yeah, it just wasn't right for me. But I still like to advocate for mental health and raise awareness. And I don't even think it's not even a matter of raising awareness, 'cause I think there is so much awareness now of mental health illnesses. I think it's more an actual understanding of mental health in general, because I think all of us have varying levels of mental health throughout our lives. You're not going to be happy every day. You are going to go through rough patches in life. You are going to go through anxious moments and sad moments and happy moments and crying moments. Like, it's normal to have fluctuating moods and times, and that doesn't mean you've got a mental health illness. But I think it's important to understand that it's okay to cry. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay not to be happy. But it's about learning and knowing that you will be happy again, and ways to cope when there is a difficult time. I think we all have difficult times, but it's about not losing that hope. So I think I just want to say, for anyone that does struggle, like, don't give up hope. Make sure you get help. And on World Mental Health Day on Thursday, it'd be really nice if you could just, I think what I was going to say was, send a nice message to a friend, because I think sometimes it's the people that we least expect that are struggling, who are struggling, because it's so easy to go out and put a mask on, isn't it?
Yeah.
And pretend you're fine when you're not. Like, when I struggled, a lot of people had no idea. And I think it can just take that one message from a friend, and you're not necessarily going to tell them that you're struggling, but just knowing that someone is there for you and cares about you makes the world of difference. So on Thursday, please just send a nice message to someone that you love, just letting them know how much they mean to you.
Yeah.
And Carl's actually very good. You actually do text me every morning telling me you love me, don't you?
I do.
Bit
Always
soppy.
have. I always have, unless we've really badly fallen out.
Unless, yeah, if we've had a really bad fallout, I don't get a morning text from Carl, and then I know, oh, he's angry.
Either that, or
He's an angry elf.
I know when I've upset her, because she'll just text me back saying thanks.
Yeah, no kisses.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's the no kiss
I
treatment.
know I'm in the bad books then.
Yeah, if we've had an argument, there's no kisses on the text and one word answers.
I still think that's just rude.
No, it's an argument.
No, it's usually like when
You've got to earn back the kisses when we make up again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, Carl, how's your mental health been over the last... We don't really talk about it, because we just let each other know how we feel, don't we? But I didn't actually tell Carl we were going to be talking about this today, so how have you been?
Well, I probably don't speak about it enough, in fairness. But my mental health over the last couple of weeks wasn't so good. Well, maybe the last couple of months, with different aspects of my life that I was struggling with a little bit.
You were struggling at work a bit, weren't you?
Yeah, just getting the balance, and yeah, there was just certain things that were happening that were making it difficult for me and putting my head in the wrong place. But last week and this week's been really good. And I was thinking, when I was driving home today, I was thinking, I've always been like really motivated to work and like do well, and at the end of the day we all work to earn money, but I've always been very driven. And it got to a point where I was going to work and I wasn't driven. I didn't want to be there. The atmosphere in certain situations wasn't very good, and I just wasn't, and that was really unlike me. And so yeah, I was thinking on the way home, like today, I actually looking forward to going into work tomorrow and thinking, right, I'm going to get this done tomorrow.
And that's really good,
And, like,
because since I've known you, you've always loved your bricks. I mean,
Yeah.
every time we drive past certain houses, telling me what kind of brick it is, and every time we go through villages that he's built housing, he's always telling me. But the last few weeks, you've just been coming home from work and being like, just not yourself. So
Yeah,
I knew something wasn't right.
I think ultimately I didn't realise that I'd felt like it for as long as I have, until it came to a head a bit recently. But yeah, no, it's looking up, and I'm feeling a lot better about it, and I'm actually looking forward to going to work tomorrow. And yeah, I've gone a little bit more freelance, which has probably helped.
Yeah, you started on a new site, haven't you?
Yeah.
Building your hairdressers and your blooming corner shop and your pizza place.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll go to the hairdressers. I've not had my hair cut in over a year. That's so bad.
You might be waiting a while till I open that.
Yeah, how long is it going to take you to build it?
Well, for that, the footing's not in yet.
I don't know what that means.
The sub, I'm not even going to get
I just
into
want you
it.
to answer how long is it going to take.
I don't actually know.
Oh, okay. This is what I mean with Kyle.
I've got other things
you
to
ask
do
him a
as well.
question, doesn't know the blooming answer.
Oh, how long's a piece of string? I'm not in control of the planning and stuff like that. So.
Okay, well, I'll have to go to the local for my haircut then.
Yeah.
But no, I've to be fair, I've been really good recently, but I have just noticed I've got a bit of a fizzy mind, I like to call it. Like, I was doing the pots the other day, and I was like scrubbing this saucepan, and my head was just going, right, I need to do this today, this tomorrow, this tonight, I need to do this. My friend's coming out at this time, I've got to cook this dinner, then I've got to go and do the food shop, then I've got to walk the dog, then I've got to reply to this email, then I've got to edit a YouTube video, I've got work tomorrow, and I've got an interview on Thursday. And I was like, blooming heck, I'm just scrubbing a saucepan, there'll be nothing left in my hand in a minute. And I was like, whoa, stop and slow down. Right now in this moment, you're washing the dishes and that's all you're doing. And I think sometimes my mind runs away with me, and I do have a busy life. I do love a to-do list. I've discovered that. Absolutely love a to-do list. That really helps me, writing everything that I need to do down. But I think I need to just remind myself to slow down. We don't need to get everything done all at once, and just, yeah, relax. But I will say a to-do list is my creme de la creme. I write a to-do list, I draw little boxes next to the to-do list, and then I tick it off as I go, and it's a great feeling. And then at the end of or the middle of the day, if I realise I've done something that I didn't originally put on my to-do list, I'll add it to my to-do list just so I can tick it off.
Yeah, she does. I come home from work quite often and see a to-do list on the side. But I've literally just been sat here thinking as you were talking, and you were talking really fast then.
Yeah.
When people say to me on the YouTube, when you're grumpy in the morning, that's how fast she speaks to me at early hours in the morning.
I know. So I was just doing an impression of what it's like in my head, because my head literally runs at 100 miles an hour, and I have to remind myself to slow down. And I think I'm naturally like an anxious overthinker person, which is good in some ways because I'm very driven, I'm very motivated. I do a lot. Kyle's going like this with his finger at me, like telling me to hurry up. Am I boring you, Kyle?
I am. I'm telling you to, no.
We've got plenty of time, don't worry. Blooming heck. Right, okay, I'll stop talking then. Off you go. What
No,
do
I
you
don't
want
want
to
to stop
say?
talking. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you have got, but you tend to go on like your brain's 100 mile an hour, which I understand it's very difficult. So it's not nice for you, but
No, I'm
sometimes-
not having a pity party over here.
sometimes
I'm
you
actually quite happy, but I just have to
slow down a
Yeah,
bit
I just have to
sometimes.
remember to slow down, and that's why I sometimes talk fast and I have to rein it in. But yeah, and I think as well, I think I have been more tired than usual because my book came out a few weeks ago. I've got my book launch tomorrow night. I'm very excited about that. But it kind of like hit me the other night when we were watching telly, didn't it? That your grandma and granddad have read the book, and they messaged you, didn't they, Kyle?
Yeah.
And they said like, well, it was really nice. I hate saying like they said it was good because it makes me feel like, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm big headed, but
No,
I'm
just
not.
take
But
the compliment. It
yeah,
is
like, I
good.
find it really hard when people say it's good because I'm like, oh, I don't know if it is. But anyway, I have to get better at that. Just take the compliment. And they were like, oh, I didn't realise how much Amy was struggling, and I wish we could have helped more and been there more, which they didn't need to be at all. Like, they were really nice.
I think it was more for that, so they would have liked to have been.
Yeah, but then it made me realise, oh, geez, like, people are going to know, like, what my mind is like, really, and what I went through. Like, I'm happy now, but they're going to know, like, the depths of the darkness, basically. And I thought, sorry, I'm going to swear, I thought, oh, shit, I've let the lid off here. Like, and I don't mind strangers reading it because I don't know them. But when it's like your family reading it and then you've got to see them, it's like, oh, Lord. But I hope it will help people, and that's the main thing. And I think my message, basically, what I'm trying to say is don't be scared to talk about things, because the more people that do, the more people will understand and realise that we're not alone, because there's lots of people that have fizzy minds like mine, I think.
Yeah, there is.
And lots of people that need people like Kyle.
I feel very fortunate that I haven't got a fizzy mind.
Imagine if we both had a fizzy mind. Blooming heck.
I think that sometimes I get a little bit grouchy because I'm a bit like, whoa.
I know, sorry.
Because I can't take it all in.
Yeah. I'm a fizzer and you're a... What's the opposite of a fizz? You're a flat.
I know, I don't.
You're a flat You're a flat lemonade that's been left in the fridge too long.
I wouldn't even say that I'm the opposite, because I do think about a lot of stuff at the same time.
No, if you open my lid, it'd be like, tss, and if you open your lid, it'd just be nothing.
No. No, sometimes you get that little,
Yeah.
no, just a little pathetic one.
After you've had a curry.
Yeah, well, let's not get into that.
Anyway, right, let's move on. I think it's time for our moan minute. So basically, this is what we do every week. We have a 1 minute timer and we can moan for a minute about whatever we want to moan about. It could be anything at all. Carl, I'm going to let you go first this week. I'm just setting up your timer, because it is really good just to let all your moans out. And we do like a good moan here in Britain. So are you ready, Kyle?
Yeah, I've
3,
got.
2, 1, action.
Can I actually have two moans? So the first section of it is, I've been working on these units, and why do people insist on putting everything in the way of where you're working? Like, you can clearly see that I'm working here, and you've decided to put everything in the middle and expect me to work around it. Just have a bit of consideration. Like, just look what you're doing. I wouldn't do that working. But anyway, not everyone thinks like me. But, oh yeah, the other one was, I was on a bike ride, not recently, this was a while ago, but I've just thought of it. is when someone's riding so close to you, which I don't mind because I'm quite confident on the bike, but they don't give you room. So like when there's holes and stuff on the left hand side, and they just insist on sticking right next to you so you can't move. So yeah, that really annoyed me because then you just end up going through all the holes because you're getting no room whatsoever. You have to stick the elbows out, but yeah, that's my main minute.
Well, Kai, you had 1 second left, so well done. That's your main minute done. Right then. That was actually quite a calm. You're quite calm when you moan, aren't you, in your main minute?
Yeah, I don't have as many moans built up.
I do know what you mean about people riding too close, though. You know, if there's a pothole or something.
There was a situation though where someone was riding borderline probably too close, almost to the point where your hands were nearly touching. I was thinking
jeez.
like you could feel them almost pushing up against me, which is yeah. I don't mind that, but just give me a little bit of room.
Although, Kyle, you were on the front of a club ride yesterday and you were chatting away and you weren't indicating in time or pointing out the potholes at some point, so I had to tell you off, didn't I?
That only happened once, and I was speaking to Joe from Pinarello, so
Shout out to Joe, we love you.
not seen him for a while, so we were just having a good chat.
He gave you a jersey.
You did? Well, I don't think he intended
You
to.
actually took the jersey off his back, let's be honest.
So now I'm taking clothes off Joe's back.
Kyle turned up to a club ride, it was a Pinarello ride, in a short sleeve jersey and arm warmers, and then he realised it was really cold, and Joe, who works for Pinarello, he's a legend, he had like a cycling jacket, and he was like, well, you can have this, Kyle, if you want, but it is mine. And then Kyle's like, oh yeah, I'll have that. And then Joe was like, oh, you can keep it. I've never seen Kyle's eyes light up so big.
You do exaggerate slightly. I was like, Joe, don't give me it if it's yours. Like, I'll give you it back. He was like, oh no, you can keep it. I was like,
I've never seen someone whip something out of someone's
I mean,
hand
it
so
did
quick.
go straight in the wash when I got home, and I will be wearing it again soon.
You will. Right, shall I do my minute now? My main minute. 3, 2, 1, action. Right, my main minute this week is just about life admin. I can't be bothered with it. I can't be bothered to, post stuff at the post office, things like that, just things that take time. Can't someone just magically post it for me? It's not even a proper moan, it's just busyness of having to do random little things that just take so much time. Like, I got a letter through the post, your car MOT's due. Oh, for goodness sake, like, you know what I mean? You have to fill out these, ringing up the garage, and you're on hold for ages, no one's answering. And then you're like, oh, I need a car service, ring the garage again, nobody's answering. Kyle, you just burped, didn't you? That's another moan for me. Your flatulence, actually. I've never met someone who belches so much and out the other end as well. When you're riding behind this guy on a ride, I'm sorry, it's absolutely disgusting. He lifts his bum off the saddle to do it at me. That's my moan this week. I've just remembered it by you doing that. And he lifts his bum up and goes, can you smell that? Well, yes, Carl. Seeing him right behind you on the bike, you've just done it in my face. Yes, I can smell that.
Right, you've had your minute now, so now I can defend myself.
And I'm sorry that was disgusting, but that's the truth.
Can I also just point out, you always made a point that the whole time me and you have been together, my flatulence isn't actually too bad.
Well, it is when we're riding.
Yeah, well.
Because you eat so many sausage rolls.
Yeah, it's obviously the foods that I'm eating. But I'm not usually too bad. But that was my stomach. That wasn't actually a burp.
Oh, it sounded like a burp.
No, it came from the stomach, that did.
Oh, great. There'll be more coming later then.
I felt really guilty as well. I was like really trying to hold it in, thinking, oh, God, I hope this doesn't come out. You probably heard it.
Anyway, right, we'll move on to our argument of the week. We're coming to an end soon, Kyle. You'll be pleased to know, because you're ready for your dinner, aren't you? I'm cooking this dinner.
It's been a long day today.
What was our argument this week? I said it to you and I forgot. Oh, I know. Driving. So, obviously, me and Kyle do quite a lot of driving.
I think this was fair.
To different places. And we drove to the Audax on Saturday, and then we drove to a club ride yesterday because it was quite far away. And I said to Kyle, I'll drive if you want me to. But he offered to drive there.
That's code for, can you please drive because I don't want to?
No. You said, I'll drive there, you drive back. So I thought, great, that's fine. I'll drive back, you drive there. So I ate my porridge in the car on the way. Then, obviously, on the ride, I really wasn't feeling very good. Like, I was feeling dizzy, and at the end, I really did nearly bonk. Like, bonk is when you run out of energy. Luckily, the homemade cakes filled me up. Carla is digestive. Still annoyed about that. Anyway, and I said to Carla, look, I will drive back if you want me to, but I do have to do some Instagram posts and make a reel, and I'm really tired. So if you drove, I could do that in the car, and then when I get home, I can just relax.
And she did know these things prior to telling me that news.
What do you mean?
That you knew you'd have to do them in the car.
Yeah.
So Amy was only sweetening me up in the morning, saying I'll drive back. But in actual fact, she already had it in her head that she needed to do a post on the way home.
No, I didn't think of it till I got there.
Yeah, so I got chucked in the deep end and I had to drive both
No,
ways.
no. So I said, but
And she goes
I
again,
did
look.
say I will drive if you want me to. And you said, no, don't worry. And also, it wasn't just the post, it's the fact I was feeling dizzy. So if you want me to have a car crash, you go ahead. But I did say, I'll drive if you want me to.
Right.
You said, no, I'll drive, don't worry. So I was like, okay, got in the car. Halfway home. Oh, this is for Kyle. Oh, I'm fed up with this driving. It's ridiculous. I'm always driving everywhere. I'm fed up with this.
That is a
really
fact.
arsey. I was like, well, I did offer to drive home and you wouldn't let me.
I mean, if for anyone that watches a YouTube, we can probably go through it and see how many times I've driven.
Yeah, and I can just point out every time you drive, I offer to drive
Right.
and you say no.
This is one for the fellas. I think you lot will understand. When a woman says to you, yeah, I'll drive if you want me to, that's basically her saying, no, I don't want to drive, but I will do it if I really have to.
But if
so then you feel guilty and you just do
No,
it.
if you don't want to drive, you should say, oh yeah, actually, I do want you to drive.
I did make that clear.
No, you didn't. You said, I'll drive. Otherwise, why would you
On
be
the
sitting
on
in
the
the
way
driver's
there,
seat?
on the way there, I did, yeah.
And anyway, yesterday to Pinarello, I drove.
Yes.
And you can't deny
And
that.
I drove back.
Yeah. So that was our argument of the week, but it wasn't too bad. We don't argue too much, but, you know, it's normal in marriage.
We really do have to think about some tips we have because we do forget.
That was our only argument this week. It's very good, apart from a few little tips
We
we've had on this
don't
podcast.
have a lot of arguments.
But most of the arguments are my fault because I will openly admit I'm a bit of a control freak. I do wear the bib shorts in this relationship.
No, that's the
And that is the honest truth.
That is the problem. She likes to think that, and she likes to have that power and that control.
No, it's not power and control. I just know that if I say, right...
So that's a clear example of that she likes to be in charge.
Yeah, I've just admitted I like to be in charge, but what I am saying is I wear the trousers in this relationship. You can confirm or deny, but we all know it's true.
Until I put my foot down.
Well, it doesn't happen. Yeah, you do put your foot down when you're driving. Right then. Right, let's move on to the emails because we're gonna wrap this up now. So we've been asking every week people to send in either their proudest moment on the bike, their toughest moment on the bike, their rage of the week, so like your moan of the week, or an argument you've had. And we've finally had an argument. Thank you very much, Steve.
I've been waiting for this.
We've been waiting for this. So if you do have any, please email them in to akapodcast@outlook.com. So any of those 4 options, email them in. We'll read them out. We'll choose one to read out. Right, Steve, you've made my day. He said, hi, I had a tiff with my wife last week about all things me buying a floor mop. I kid you not. My wife has always been against mops. She says that they stink. We've tried all types of floor wipes and they're useless in getting smaller. So I bought a modern mop and all hell broke loose. Raised voices, the silent treatment, the lot. Oh, I bet there was no kisses on those texts to you, Steve, that day. Anyway, it was sorted after a day or so. Plus, I think she's happy that I did a good job cleaning the floors and doesn't stink. But I mean, seriously, life is too short to be arguing about a mop. Hope this made you laugh. That is hilarious.
That has actually tickled me, but I can imagine me and you having a very similar argument.
Well, my mum and dad, when I was younger, I remember they had an argument about a garden bench. Because my dad came home from work with this brand new bench for the garden, which cost a lot of money. And mum was really annoyed at him because he didn't need a new bench. So, yeah, but I think a mop's a bit of a different scale to a bench. But, yeah.
That is amusing.
Thanks for that, Steve. And we'll now do one more from Gemma of a happy moment. We love the happy moments too. So I'm not going to read the whole email because it is quite a long email. Please don't send us in War and Peace, although it is nice to read. We don't have enough time. Sorry about that. Basically, she did a really great ride with a boyfriend in 2023, cycling from Venice to Milan in 4 days, raising money for ovarian cancer. Well done for you. And they had a target of £4,100 and they managed to raise that, I think it says.
4,100.
I myself have never done anything like this before. They had a target of 4,100. I hope they raised it. It didn't say. Oh, what's an ellipsis? Is that an ellipsis?
I think raising money...
What's an ellipsis? Is that with the 3 dots? Like, to be continued.
You've lost me there.
Gemma, you'll have to let us know. Right, so the ride was a tour of the lakes. Day 1, they covered 91 miles. Day 2, 96 miles. Day 3, 72 miles. And day 4, 64 miles. So a lovely, nice ride. Going through all the Lake Como. Oh, Milan. They finished in Milan. We cycled through there. Absolutely a nightmare.
It'd be nice to finish there.
Yes. Right. On the last day, at the top of the Madonna del Gisallo. Apparently it's a
Yeah.
famous climb. I don't actually ever
Is that the
do
one
it.
we did when we came? Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, it's a climb. I'm going to have to look it up. Have a look it up, Kyle. Madonna del Gisallo. Go on, you look it up on your phone while I read this.
I don't want to make
Here we
any
are.
noise.
I'm wearing the bib shorts again. It's all right. You can look it up on your phone. So, and she said she got a surprise. They finished the climb, and at the top there's a cycling museum. Oh, blooming heck, Kyle! We'll have to go to the cycling museum and a chapel to look around. The views at the top over the mountains are beautiful, and Adam asked me to take a panoramic picture of the view. As I finished, I turned around and Adam was down on one knee and proposed. Much to my surprise, with the group watching, of course, she said yes. That's really nice.
Oh wow, it does look fantastic. To be fair.
Where is it?
Lombardy, Italy. It's near Lake Como.
It's got a cycling museum at the top.
Yeah, there's a picture of it. Look.
We need to go there. That'd be great.
I'm glad you've told us about that.
Yeah, well, I got proposed to on the sofa at home, so well done to Adam for actually, proposing in a nice location. But I won't hold it against you, Kyle. It's all right. It's not like it's something I mention every few years when I feel a bit sad.
Patroness of local travellers.
I was ignoring me.
Yeah, I'm just sorry about that.
Anyway, thank you so much to everyone that's listened to this. I'm sorry it's been a bit waffly. My mind's been fizzing, but I hope that you all have a smile today. Keep smiling because that's what makes us feel happy. Just try it. Smile at yourself in the mirror. Honestly, it really does make you feel happy. Sometimes I do it when I'm sad. Chester is here, but he's not going to bark today. He is absolutely flat out asleep on the floor next to us. He's not been messing up the rug today, so he's in the good books. And yeah, I hope you all have a lovely week. We're back next week with another episode. I'm after Wales this week with my dad.
I echo all those sentiments.
Yeah. Carl's basically saying, Amy, I want my tea.
No. I can't really say much more than that. I was going to say one thing, though. When you say smile in the mirror,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I probably won't do that because I've got a smile that only a mother can love.
You are?
I've got a smile that only a mother could love.
I don't know what that means.
Basically, an ugly smile.
Oh, no, it's not about what you look like, Kyle. It's about what's inside that counts.
Yeah, no, but it might not make me feel too good if I smile at myself.
No, you don't have to look at yourself when you smile. Just smile. It makes you feel happy.
Oh, right. I thought you said you had to
Smile
do it.
now and see if you feel happier.
Oh, yeah, I'm smiling at you because you're silly.
Right, then. I'm playing silly beggars now.
Right, go and get my tea done.
Right, we're having a lovely stir fry tonight and I'm making double portion because I'm going away this week and I don't trust you to cook for yourself. So you've got 3 freezer meals in the freezer for you.
Look out for the Instagram.
Yeah.
You might be seeing a kebab on there.
No, you blooming won't. So you've got tonight's chicken stir fry, so you'll have a portion of that. Last week I made a double spag bowl, so you've got a portion
I
of
don't
that.
think people need to run down on my
And
diet.
you've got a pie, which you'll be very happy about.
Yeah, I am
That's a
very
treat
happy
for
about
you.
that.
Anyway, yeah, who wears the trousers, Kyle?
Right, back to saying goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.